You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, July the 1st, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, one senior citizen living with multiple illnesses and relying on a breathing machine to survive is stressed out due to a $1,200 electricity bill hanging over his head. However, several people have turned up at Belco today to offer contributions to his costs. Jasmine Patterson has more on this goodwill story.
We can't afford a lot of these bills.
67-year-old Ralph Hansey, also known as Big Red, says he feels he's been forgotten. The retired fisherman and nightclub bouncer is overdue on his Belco bill with no means of paying it, as he's unable to work due to his physical condition.
I have gout, I have arthritis, I have sleep apnea, which is a sleeping disorder, which I need the CPAP machine for. I have high blood pressure. I have a bad heart. My heart is just really working. And I just came by the hospital a couple of weeks ago. I almost died.
Mr. Hansey's light bill has gone unpaid since January, reaching over $1,200 in just a few months.
It's something wrong there. So where does extra money come from? I don't know. Like people say it's a surcharge. Why you give me a surcharge for? I'm a senior. Why surcharge me? What is up? You got money out there? Take it from them.
There's added stress, though, when he says his life depends on a breathing machine.
Now, if Belco were to turn off your lights, what would happen?
Maybe I have about 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours. I might see daybreak, but I can't promise myself that.
Relying on the government's social assistance to provide his medications and food vouchers, the program can only contribute $150 towards his electricity costs, a situation he says has led him to a place of despair.
I got to put up before this year. I may as well die. You know? Because the hard thing to say, our nieces and all that, our grandchildren and all that deal, you know what I mean? But I'm saying we can take so much and no more.
There's a silver lining, though, as numerous phone calls reached our company today from individuals in the community willing to donate funds towards his outstanding bill. Area MP Anthony Richardson, we understand, has also reached out to offer his support. And Mr. Hansey calls on the government to take a serious look at the problems that plague senior citizens in Bermuda and pleads that they not be left behind. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, in other news, an opportunity for you to get involved in commemorating the theater boycott of 1959 as you make your morning commute tomorrow, July the 2nd. Historian Glenn Fumbler reminds that date was of particular significance to the theater boycott. He urges that to help recall the event, we turn on our headlights as we drive the island's roads tomorrow morning, and with good reason.
July 2nd, Gary, was the date in 1959 that manifested the success of the theater boycott. After 2 weeks of solidarity amongst the community, the powers that be relented, and on that date, it would happen to be a Thursday back in 59, but on that day, most of the things were open. Now that came as a result of a couple of events. As you know, the boycott was in principle. People began to gather in that area, which is now the City Hall car park. They did some motorcades, actually one motorcade to St. George's, and that Thursday they did a motorcade to Somerset, and bringing together the ends of the island. And as a result, by that weekend, it was the hotel owners of Bermuda that determined that they were going to remove discrimination in the front of the house at the hotel. So it meant that the clubs, the dining rooms, etc., were open to everyone. Subsequently, the Front Street restaurants opened up, and then the next day, the theaters announced that on that July 2nd, everything would be open. So it was a time of, let's call it a victory on behalf of the people of Bermuda. So here in 60 years later, we're doing something and allowing the whole community to reinforce that sense that these are the shoulders on which we stand today, so that our community can appreciate from whence we came. Because remember, the opening up of the things like the theaters, taking down the barriers of race, not only did that, but it also prepared the groundwork for the democratization of Bermuda.
So remember, drive with your lights on tomorrow morning. And as to the thinking behind the suggestion for driving with your lights on?
Light has a symbolic implication. And remember, the era of segregation could be seen as a dark time. And literally, you might see a post that the artist has done is taken the lamp, the flashlight people who take you up the aisles of a theater would take you, and she's using that as the light. Now tomorrow, we can turn on our lights on our bike or our cars to symbolize the light that is essential not only back in '59, but we need light today. And so this is about looking at our past, but also inspiring people to move forward here today in 2019 and beyond, because our upcoming generations deserve as much.
Coming up, a hospital horror complaint, the latest weather news and more. Stay with us.
Take a test drive today at Ultimate Motors.
Welcome back. Well, imagine going to the hospital emergency room for treatment and instead of getting better, your condition worsens. Well, that is the complaint from one woman who alleges her seemingly healthy mother walked into the emergency room and after treatment was administered, she now cannot walk or talk and requires a nursing home. Tarai Trott tells us more.
And my mom was screaming the place down in agony and in pain. And she's crying to me and asking me why. So that was hard for me to see.
Meet Latani Frias. She claims her 72-year-old mother drove herself to the hospital's emergency room on February 1st, complaining of a rapid heartbeat. She alleges her mother's encounter with the hospital has left her mother worse off than when she walked in 4 months ago.
My mom lived with her and I lived together, and like I said, my mom was vibrant. She was going to bingo with her, with her friends. She was going for her daily walks, girl stuff, getting her nails done, her hair done. She was planning a trip, hopefully to go to Vegas, with a bunch of her bingo friends or whatever, and now she can't walk.
Ms. Frias traces everything back to February 1st, the day when her mother first sought treatment.
They did an x-ray and they listened to her heart, and they found that she had AFib, which is heart beating too fast.
It is the remedy supposedly offered by the attending physician Ms. Frias claims was the first of many missteps by the hospital doctor.
The cardiologist came in and said that he would do a cardioversion, which is another name for shock treatment. Basically, he made it seem like it was a walk in the park. He didn't let us know that we had other options or anything like that.
Ms. Frias alleges she left the hospital and later returned, expecting to collect her mother and take her home, but learned she would not be going home.
They told me that my mom was not coming back to this floor, that she's in fact in ICU. The doctor claims that the first time that he shocked her, everything was okay. And then shortly after that, he had to perform CPR and shock her 2 more times. And I went to see my mom, and I could look at her and see that she had suffered a neurological deficit.
Suspicious that her mother may have suffered a stroke, she further claims it was her who had to suggest the next course of action instead of the doctor.
When we finally came to see the cardiologist who performed the procedure, I asked him again, I said, "Did you do a CAT scan?" And he said, "No, but that's a good idea."
So you were like a doctor?
Pretty much.
According to Ms. Frias, Doctors allegedly failed to provide the family with results of the first CAT scan, and she claims doctors failed to inform them that there were other treatment options available for her mom's racing heart.
They never told us that the cardioversion can cause a stroke.
Ms. Frias says she is heartbroken by the state that her previously vibrant mother is now in. She told us she was advised that her mother should be placed into a nursing home where she would require round-the-clock care.
You're saying she's not the same person she was before February 1st?
Not at all.
She has this warning for those with close family members who may require hospital treatment.
If you don't have a power of attorney, they can do whatever they want to do, even though you're the next of kin.
When contacted about this story, a spokesperson for the Bermuda Hospitals Board, the BHB, said the Bermuda Hospitals Board has a strict patient confidentiality policy and as such cannot comment. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Tarai. And Ms. Frias says she has contacted a lawyer and is weighing her options. Turning to weather news, improving conditions for the rest of our work week. Here are the details from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
Well, it's been an active time, and this AccuWeather forecast is brought to us by the folks at the BF&M Insurance Group. I'm meteorologist Jeff Cornish with this ZBM AccuWeather forecast. We have had some active weather, and there have been some lightning strikes in the general vicinity of Bermuda. Even a waterspout recently seen offshore a little ways back. So we've had some exciting weather over the past 2 days or so, and this active weather is soon to leave us. This band of showers and storms is moving on through. The final opportunity for thunderstorms will be moving through early this evening, and then things will quiet back down. 81 to 82 degrees across the island. Not a whole lot of variety. Temperatures have been pretty steady. Humidity 75 to 80%. Wind is pretty active at up to around 15 knots from the west-southwest. Water temp holding at 82, and on the inside, the waves are 1 to 3 feet, and on the outside, we have 4 to 7 footers. So because of that and the activity here, we do have a small craft warning in effect this evening. Also, a thunderstorm advisory for the evening hours, and then we'll be able to put most of this active weather aside for a little while. So a small craft warning remains in effect this evening, as mentioned. Be careful out there. Boating weather will improve later this week, but we're not great right now. High tide 8:35 tonight. Then the tide will go out later this evening. Low tide just before 3 a.m. Another high tide at 8:52 on Tuesday morning, and another low tide to follow at 2:46 on your Tuesday afternoon. So showers, maybe even an evening thunderstorm. Then late tonight we'll begin to clear things back out, and improvements will be coming. Tomorrow, a beautiful day, partly sunny. Waves will gradually be subsiding as we finally begin to calm back down on the back end of this storm system and the recent front. Futurecast shows the showers are generally on the way out of here, and you can see they more decisively leave, and high pressure with the clockwise flow sets up shop over our heads for Tuesday, and that's going to pave the way for a beautiful atmospheric recovery, if you will. The weather's going to quiet down for us after this recent front. Jamaica looks good, 90 degrees there, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms will be into the area of Barbados, maybe even Trinidad and Tobago as well. No tropical threats are on the map, though, through the next 5 to 7 days in the Atlantic Basin. That is good news, and we hope to continue with that theme. In Toronto, it's a warm Tuesday. New York City, 86. They had their first 90 of the year earlier this past weekend. And into Boston, 86 degrees there. Fairly warm. Atlanta, typically hot this time of the year. The humidity is building in the southeastern United States, supporting some thunderstorms into Miami. London looks nice. Beautiful early July weather, 70 degrees there. As we look at the extended forecast back home, things quiet down. The showers and storms are gone on Tuesday. We're looking quieter, drier, bright, beautiful weather. More in the way of sunshine Wednesday and Thursday. And then late Friday into Saturday, we'll begin to just think about the chance of a few showers entering the forecast. Most of that time period will be dry. There could be a brief shower returning as early as Friday night.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're going to go. We got off the plane actually the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, "Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care, and because of that I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
And you're watching the Monday edition of Bermuda Tonight. Well, after the government recently pledged to protect 20% of our waters, some have expressed their concerns that despite the government's efforts to limit the effect on the economy, the initiative may have unforeseen consequences. Summer intern Nasir Simmons has more on these developments.
As an isolated island, Bermuda is surrounded by a plethora of sea life. We not only live surrounded by it, but many depend on it for their livelihood. The recent commitment made by the government to protect 20% of our oceans calls into question what action Bermuda has already been taking to undertake this massive initiative of protecting the sea. One of the organizations long involved with this overarching goal of ocean conservation is the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences, or BIOS. BIOS has worked in conjunction with the government to create marine spatial planning, which focuses on the balancing of the needs of locals with the needs of the environment, effectively planning the future of marine life in Bermuda, taking into account our diverse ocean-based economy. Bearing in mind the need to balance conservation with the fact that so many here earn their living through activities directly related to the environment, we spoke with veteran fisherman and owner at Lost in the Triangle, or LIT, Mr. Delvin Bean, about the plan to protect 20% of the water surrounding us, a plan which will prevent harvesting in some areas.
This doesn't make any sense. It's a short break off from Blue Halo. They tried implementing Blue Halo 3 or 4 years ago and was dropped. It was introduced to the previous government. They said, no, it doesn't make any sense. And right now, somebody's trying to get in the back door to introduce something similar, which absolutely makes no sense. It's not going to be any beneficial factor whatsoever to enhance or to make the island better. Sometimes they come out and say, well, tourists can go out and see it. If I take you out on my boat right now, I can go 3 miles off the island. I don't even know these statistics are exactly where they're going to locate this particular piece of water. But when you go out there, you see nothing. The only thing you're going to see is seaweed.
Many of our local restaurants depend on the daily catch to meet the needs of their customers. So what impact do they envisage this conservation effort having on their businesses?
If I decide to start another industry, like longline fishing, and right now my computer indicates that this piece of water is where the fish are going to be, because it goes by hot water, cold water. So if the hot water is where this particular issue is, and it's for Bermudians, as Bermudian company and Bermudian entrepreneurs trying to excel in this country, I can't fish in that area because at that point it's blocked off. The water eddy is going to move, but that's irrelevant. What are we trying to protect? Okay? No, that's not how it works. Like I said, Blue Halo got dropped. This needs to get dropped as well. If you're going to do your job, do it right. Investigate all of it and not half of it.
With legislation already put in place since the 1970s to protect our birds, trees, parks, and reefs, along with stimulating our vital fishing economy, Bermuda has a history of being at the forefront of environmental protection. This gives great cause for optimism in light of new scientific findings of potential environmental collapse by the year 2040, putting Bermuda in a great position to preserve the life many have enjoyed for generations to come. I'm Nasir Simmons, reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste? Definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
I'm Kayla, and this is taking off. Becoming a member of the U.S. Travelers Program Global Entry just became a whole lot easier. Global Entry is designed to help fast-track travelers through the Customs and Border Protection process when arriving in the United States. Travelers who are eligible for Global Entry and have completed the application online, having been conditionally approved, can now complete the interview for the program right here at the LFA International Airport rather than having to travel overseas. On the applicant's next scheduled trip through Bermuda's airport, they will be processed for both their Global Entry and pre-clearance admission at one of the new enrollment on arrival kiosks, where a U.S. CBP officer will determine final eligibility before the applicant boards their flight. If approved, the traveler will become a Global Entry member and will be able to use Global Entry kiosks at available locations. Be sure to arrive here to the airport earlier, as the enrollment on arrival process requires extra time to complete. Global Entry is available for U.S. citizens, those with UK passports, Canadians, and a number of other nationalities. See you next time.
Now here's Earl Basin with a roundup of all the weekend sporting activities.
Nikki Bascom won by a unanimous decision over Alvin Lagombe from the Philippines in Dockyard in their boxing match on Saturday night. In the undercards, Andre Lamb defeated Deshaun Williams, while Krista Dyer got by her opponent, Catherine Rapids. Mikey Parsons defeated Jack McGrath, while Jalen Roberts defeated Shaquille Leon. And youth boxer Otero Smith was defeated by Swain Williams. The Central American and Caribbean Amateur Confederation Swimming Championships got underway on Friday evening in Barbados, and after 5 sessions, Bermuda swimmers have claimed a total of 15 medals. Going into today's 2 sessions, Bermuda have picked up 4 gold, 9 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Elon Daly captured a gold medal in the 13 to 14 girls 50-meter long course backstroke final. She also claimed a gold medal in the 13 to 14 girls 200-meter freestyle, touching the wall in a time of 2:08.56. Logan Watson Brown claimed a gold medal in the 15 to 17 girls 100-meter butterfly, and the other gold medal came during the 15 to 17 girls 200-meter freestyle final, when Logan Watson Brown was clocked in a time of 2:06.33. Bermuda's David Maycock finished 31st, competing in the Professional Bowling Association's Lubbock Sport Shoutout. Maycock advanced to the second round, which was the cashier's round. He had finished the first round in 39th place and moved up to 31st after 6 games rolled yesterday, but could not advance. Maycock was totally pleased with his performance.
Today was a great experience. I competed with the best in the world. Yesterday I came out feeling confident and qualified in the top 39 out of 118 players to advance to the cashier's round. Today was a good day on the lanes as well. Even though I didn't advance to the top 16, I am very happy with my performance. It just proves to me I am able to compete at the pro level.
Turning to cricket in Premier Division 2020 action yesterday, Bailey's Bay picked up a 4-wicket victory over St. David's Cricket Club. St. David's Cricket Club won the toss and elected to bat at the Seabreeze Oval. They would score 180 for 7. Rudell Pitcher and Mackay Simmons both scored 46, with Pitcher not out. Rodney Trott was the pick of the Bailey's Bay bowlers with figures of 4 overs, 2 for 15. In reply, Bailey's Bay would get over the line with 2 balls to spare as they scored 148 for 6. Stephen Otterbridge was their top scorer with 77 off of 49 deliveries, hitting 7 4s and 4 6s. CJ Otterbridge was the pick of the St. David's Cricket Club bowlers with figures of 4 overs, 2 for 29. Southampton Rangers won by 78 runs over Flats Victoria. Southampton Rangers would score 146 for 6 and bowled Flats Victoria out for 68. St. George's Cricket Club picked up a 20-run victory over Cleveland County. St. George's Cricket Club scored 123 for 7 and bowled Cleveland County all out for 103. In First Division 50 over action, Willacott won by 38 runs over Western Stars. Willacott were bowled out for 197 and then bowled Western Stars out for 159. Somerset Bridge won by 8 wickets over the Devonshire Recreation Club. Devonshire Recreation Club would score 116 all out, with Somerset Bridge scoring 122 for 2. The Triathlon Super League returned to European soil as Erica Hawley competed in Poland. Athletes competed in 3 rounds of a mixture of swim, bike, and run. In round 1, Hawley was clocked at 19:52, finishing 8th. She clocked a time of 5:17 on the swim and 13:57 on the bike. Round 2 saw Hawley finish 7th with an overall time of 19:55. Hawley covered the 5K bike course in a time of 7:36, and then she would clock 6:05 on the swim before clocking a 1K run time of 3:07. Hawley did not advance to the third and final round. Nicholas Pilgrim competed in the men's 16-19 Junior Elite Cup during the Triathlon Monroe event in Seattle, Washington. Pilgrim finished 24th out of 58 finishers in the age group, clocking a time of 1:00:02. Dominic Mayo and Caitlin Conyers were crowned the Bermuda National Road Race Championship male and female champions, while Nicholas Narroway and Zoe Hasselkuss were crowned the Bermuda National Road Race Championships junior male and female champions. Mayo brought Caden Hopkins' string of recent wins to a halt when he clocked a winning time of 2:28:44.3. Connor White was second in 2:28:45.2, and Hopkins finished third in a time of 2:28:45.3. During the open female race, Conyers was clocked across the line in a sprint finish time of 1:57:26.7. Nicole Mitchell was second in 1:57:26.8, and Ashley Cooper finished third in a time of 1:57:29.1. There was plenty of anticipation in and around the Ferry Beach area as the Bermuda Powerboat Association's race season resumed yesterday with 4 S-Class boats taking to the course. Stephen Eversley and his crew, Brendan Franks, in S-187 claimed the win. Aaron Sims and Stephen Bridges guided S-20 to a second-place finish, with Henry Tolbert and Andrew Cunningham in S-22 finishing in third. Derek Seymour and Shakai Easton impressed early but slipped to fourth in S-7. 4 Bermuda sailors concluded competing in the 2019 Optimus European Championships in France. PJ Rodriguez, Amelia Lewis, Rachel Beckchart, and Ava Rosser were flying the Bermuda flag. In the boys division that had 176 sailors, Rodriguez finished in 152nd place after a total of 10 races sailed in the regatta. Rodriguez finished with 299 net points. With 117 girls on the water, Lewis led the Bermuda fleet with 181 net points, finishing 65th overall. Beckchart was 80th with 231 net points, and Rosser finished 112th with 365 net points. Maxwell Curtis and his crew, Stephen Furbett, sailed pole position to victory in the Gladys Rayner Memorial Comet Regatta off the Mid-Atlantic Sailboat Club on the North Shore yesterday. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
That's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for sharing your Monday evening with us, everyone. Good night.